What is up, guys? Tyson DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. We are exposing a scandal that has been hidden in plain sight. Politico, AP, and USAID are all tied together in a web of funding, influence, and reckless attacks on MAGA. And we are going to talk about it. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. We are jumping into the political battle with media and its heart. We are exploring Politico's ties and AP's ties in the forefront of critiquing MAGA and all of their ties to USAID, and why Democrats have been up in arms about these cuts.
And we cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have. We are going to fight this fight. I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win. 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 We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Politico has been known for its insensitive political commentary, and has been relentlessly attacking Trump's MAGA movement. But here is the twist: significant funding from USAID. Politico has been funded by USAID. USAID has recently come under scrutiny.
I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOJ team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort. Thank you.
This funding, over $9 million since 2024, raises eyebrows, especially when you consider the timing of Politico's payroll glitch on February 5th, 2025. Politico couldn't pay its employees on February 5th, right when USAID funding was slashed.
When it comes to USAID, it has been a problem for a long time that they have flowed millions of dollars in complete darkness without transparency, and much of it has gone to enemies of America. The previous administration, I held up the confirmation of the Middle East director for USAID because USAID was sending millions of dollars into Gaza that was going directly to Hamas and being used to fund terrorism, and they were hiding it. They were trying to keep it in darkness.
The Associated Press has similarly been critical of Trump and the MAGA movement, often highlighting the administration's policies in a negative light.
Look at all the fraud that he's found in this USAID. It's a disaster. What the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what, with money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money. With the money, I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money to some of the things that you read about and I read about and I see every night on the news and every morning when I read the papers? Who would spend money for that? I would say this: the people that got all that money, are they kicking it back to the people that gave it from government? No, that's, to me, very, very corrupt.
Both outlets' connection to USAID are now the focal point of debate, especially as USAID has been accused of funding projects that align with Democrat ideologies. The Trump administration's decision to cut USAID funding has sparked outrage among Democrats. They argue it's not just about foreign policy, but about cutting off support for media like Politico and AP, which have been vocal critics of MAGA policies.
Al-Qaeda leader, and they are in a USAID tent. Look who signed the check for the initial $200,000 payment to the Islamic Relief Agency, the United States Agency for International Development. The more you look into USAID, the more shocked you will become. USAID was running a top-secret espionage program to undermine Cuba and push people to dissent. Now, let me show you how much money we're talking about. It included a $1 billion sovereign loan guarantee, $320 million in general assistance. So where else beside the NIH has money been coming from? By far, the largest donors are from USAID and the Department of Defense. Judicial Watch found that the U.S. State Department and USAID had been giving millions to the Macedonian arm of George Soros's Open Society Foundation. What for? To train youth movements. So USAID, and those are always, they're known by anybody who pays attention as CIA fronts. This is, you know, the USAID comes into a country, they start doing things, and next thing you know, we've got a revolution on our hands because that's the CIA.
Social media has been buzzing with claims of political retribution. Here is the public's reaction on USAID funding.
After seeing the list of some of the things the government has been spending on, I'm so upset. Like, I'd rather pay tariffs and get my income tax back. The fact that I don't know where it's going, $20 million to Iraqi Sesame Street, I'd rather pay tariffs than income tax.
Holy shit, the United States gave Ukraine $177 billion and $100 billion is missing? What?
Found some of the ways that Democrats were spending U.S. tax dollars, your money. I think they're angry because they got caught, because boy, oh boy, some of the ways they were spending our money. I'm telling you, if they keep going this route, there's going to be no Democrats.
But what's the real story with USAID's spending? Some are a little bit more controversial, and some of the allocations include $7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists to avoid binary gender language. This project was aimed to gender inclusivity in media, but criticized for its cost and relevance. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism. This funding aimed to support transgender rights in various countries, seen by some as pushing a specific social agenda. Millions and millions of dollars for DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion projects. These projects that focus on diversity, equity, inclusion training. Funding for foreign EV subsidies. This initiative supported electronic vehicle adaptation abroad, which some see as overreach in foreign policy through environmentalism. The outrage from Democrats isn't just about the loss of funding for these initiatives, but also about the perceived attacks on media independence and the narrative control that this might entail. The situation has ignited a conversation about where journalism ends and propaganda begins. As all this drama unfolds, we are left with questioning. Can media truly be a watchdog when its funding might be dictated by its bark? I'd love to know your views on this. Should media outlets disclose their funding sources, especially when covering governments they're financially tied to? Drop your comments about this in the comment section down below. Smash the like button, share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.